Alright, we are gonna read more of My Heart Bleeds Violet. Um, and we're listening to the classic Lisa Frank 420 Modern Computing. And yes, it's just going to be this one song on loop. Uh, I hope you don't mind. It's a good song, it's like 7 minutes long. But either me or the audio file of the chapter will be talking over it almost all the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter anyways. Okay, so we are on chapter 2. Let me pull up the file. Need that pulled up on my computer. Okay.
Chapter 2, we're so young, but we're probably gonna die after approximately 3 hours of exploration. Everyone reconvened in the gymnasium to discuss the results of their search. To the surprise of the others, even Beelzebub, Ow, and Mr. Shocking joined them to find out what everyone had discovered. What's that look for? It's to my benefit that I find out what all of you know. That's the only reason I'm here. Beelzebub saw Karami looking at him with a confused expression. I'm not sharing anything I learned, though. Then why should we tell you what we found, then? Blue raised the brow. Because I refuse to leave the room. Beelzebub said simply. Unless you all can communicate telepathically, you'll have no choice but to let me know everything. It's fine, it doesn't matter if he knows. Karami insisted. She then looked at Ao and Mr. Shocking. Do you two plan on contributing to the conversation? Not at all. Mr. Shocking said bluntly. I'm just here to eavesdrop. As if you could keep your mouth shut. Kalaus rolled his eyes. You got something to say, pretty boy. Mr. Shocking started to roll up his sleeves.
I think it's funny that he calls him Pretty Boy because, it's established that they're all the same person. They all look the same. What makes Klaus Pretty Boy? I think it's just because he's well-groomed. He's one of the most well-groomed of the bunch. Still just objectively funny because they have the same face.
Case in point. Kalaus sighed. Let's just get this over with. Who's going first? I can, it's fine. Karami took control of the situation. Me, Teru Kara, and Hanaya-san scoped out as much of the building as we could. We didn't go into much detail and
I just noticed that's grammatically incorrect. I'm saying that that's allowed because it's dialogue, so it's Karami being grammatically incorrect and not me. But when she says me, Kara, and Hanaya-san scoped out as much of the building as we could, should have been like Kara, Hanaya-san, and I. Should not have been me. Should have been I. I don't know if I ever noticed that before. I don't think that was intentional. It's usually not. Fun fact, even if I know a character wouldn't be grammatically incorrect when saying it, like me versus I still hate writing out dialogue that it's intentionally incorrect. So it's usually just an error on my part if I do use the wrong one.
inspecting the rooms, because we wanted to get a feel of the general layout of the place. It looks like there's 5 floors. Most rooms are empty classrooms, though each floor does have some rooms of note. I'm sure the rest of you searched at least some of them, right? Did you know that there's a garden on the 5th floor? Hanaya-san seemed pleased to share this news.
As you likely already know, the school in My Heart Bleeds Violet that they're in is almost identical in layout to the school in Danganronpa, in the first Danganronpa game. It's not the exact same, but like the garden being on the 5th floor, and believe the rec room being on the 2nd or 3rd floor, whichever floor it's on. I believe that those are both canon to the Danganronpa school. One noticeable thing, though, is that in the canon of My Heart Bleeds Violet, there's not a nurse's office. One's never mentioned, at least. But there is a nurse's office in the Danganronpa school. And, like, the individual rooms might have a different layout, especially depending on from, like, chapter to chapter. I'm more thinking of, like, Blue on Blue now, though, but because that fic, we get to see more of the environments. This is just such a much longer fic. Anyways, but for the most part, it's a relatively one-to-one with the Danganronpa school if you know what that looks like off the top of your head. At least in terms of layout.
An indoor garden? What, like a greenhouse? Kay tried to picture it. I've never seen a greenhouse inside of a building before. Yes, it is like an indoor greenhouse. The exterior walls are made of glass. However, I think someone painted over the glass walls with black paint. When I try to look out of the glass, I can't see anything except darkness. I thought I'd be able to see the outside, but it was just nothing. So I think someone did do something to the outside of the windows so that we can't see out of the building. Hanaya-sen explained.
As we now know in the future, the windows are not painted. There's just literally nothing out there. It's just a black void. Just want to point that out.
Did you try breaking the glass? Mafia asked. Yes, actually. Karami nodded. I tried busting the glass with my shield, but it didn't work. The glass is either really thick, or it's shatter resistant. So we can't get out that way. Speaking of ways out, all of the windows are bolted shut. You all probably noticed that. It was the first thing I noticed. Blue remarked. I can always find an escape route, but all of the exits to this building are sealed in such a way that even I can't get past them. This is an exceptionally strange situation for me to be in. I thought for certain that I'd be able to find a way out. My team went to the front door to see if that could be opened, but it seems to be locked from the outside. If I may speak, I have something to ask. Haratsuka-san took control of the floor, gathering everyone's attention. You, Beelzebub, Prince of Hell, I have a question for you, and I ask that you give me a firm, honest, and concise answer. Bare your heart to me and tell no lies. You can phase through walls, can you not? Like a specter haunting the halls, you should be able to come and go through this building as you please. So, then, tell me this, and spare no details. Have you tried to go outside?
Side note that you wouldn't know unless you were physically like reading along right now. Just a note that I hate. So specter is one of those words that's spelled differently whether you're in America or the UK. In America, specter is spelled ER. In the UK, it's spelled RE. I hate the way the American spelling looks. I use the American spelling in this instance because it's what autocorrect corrected it to in Google Docs. But I believe in Blue on Blue, the chapter title, The Spectre at the Feast, I spell it the way I prefer, which is the UK spelling. Which is weird because I usually don't prefer the UK spelling of things. I actually didn't know it was the UK spelling. I didn't know which one was the American one and which one was the UK one. I just knew they were both like correct. Until Google Docs was like, "Hey, do you mean this?" And I was like, "No, I don't mean that, but all right." Um, just a little trivia. I have the same problem with the word endeavor. Normally I don't spell things the British way with like the superfluous U, but I do spell endeavor with a U. And Google Docs gets on my ass about that a lot, and so I usually change it to the American spelling without the U. Anyway.
You told me to be concise, then asked me to spare no details. Which is it? Beelzebub stretched and maintained a leisurely seated position while floating in the air. Either way, I did try and go outside. I was able to get out just fine. That's all I'm telling you, though. Wait, you were able to get outside? Monroe gasped. Most of the people in the room did a collective double take at the knowledge that Beelzebub had gone outside. Yeah, then I came back inside. What's not clicking? Beelzebub rolled his eyes. Why didn't you go get help? Haratsuka-san demanded to know. It is your sworn duty as a member of our group to aid us, and yet you lazily returned with no help to speak of? I wasn't able to. Beelzebub shrugged. I went outside, but it didn't do me any good. So now I'm back in here. That's all there is to it. Could you elaborate on that, perhaps? Karameshiu requested. I'm unclear on what you mean when you say you were unable to get help even though you went outside.
Now, something that some people may be wondering is, so earlier in the previous chapter, Mononoke was like, if you even try to, like, go outside or, like, open a locked door, I will execute you on the spot. But Beelzebub does go outside, and he doesn't get killed. And I'm here to tell you that the reason for that is just that, well, there's really two reasons. The first is that the mastermind, who we know to be Ichimatsu, he doesn't want people to start dying so soon without it being part of the game. which ties into the next reason, which is the whole point of the game is that the Karamatsus kill each other. And so he doesn't want to kill a Karamatsu. One, he just doesn't want to because, he loves Karamatsu. But also, like, he doesn't want to interfere with any of the people in the game. He wants them to do the killing themselves. So that's why Beelzebub gets off with a slap on the wrist, even though Mononeko was like, I'll just execute you if you try to go outside. If you were ever wondering about that.
I don't feel like telling you. It wouldn't change anything if I did tell you, anyway. So don't worry about it. Beelzebub denied Karameishiu's demand. Of course we're going to be worried about it. Kay remarked. You got out of the building, but you won't even tell us what's out there. No, I won't. May as well keep the mystery alive, you know? Beelzebub started to yawn. Anyway, can we move on? I'm not going to tell you anything else. You're being difficult on purpose. Karami sighed. Yes, I am. Beelzebub admitted this readily, smirking slightly. We'll come back to you, then. Karami pinched the bridge of her nose.
Excuse me. God. One thing that I think is worth pointing out, just because I was thinking about it while I was writing tonight, writing Beelzebub's dialogue tonight in the House of Blue chapter. Beelzebub responds, "Yes, I am." I'm very particular. Usually, I'm usually very particular about which characters say yes and which characters say yeah. Because some, if they're asked something and respond with an affirmative, they will say yeah, and some will say yes. It is very rare that I will write a character that uses them interchangeably or like uses both, unless there's like a reason for it. And since Beelzebub, as I've talked about in the past, is on the formal end of speaking, for the most part, he uses yes and not yeah. So I only bring it up because, again, in tonight's chapter, last night and tonight when I was writing Beelzebub's dialogue, it comes up where he does answer something with an affirmative, and I do make the conscious thought of, like, he does not respond yeah, he responds yes. Yeah.
Who would like to speak next? There's a music room. Not sure if that matters much, though. Kay spoke up. They've even got a recording booth. Actually, it's pretty sick. Not on the level of a professional studio, but I can make do with it. That's hardly worth mentioning. I don't see what good a music room will do for us. Blue frowned slightly. Like I said, I didn't know if it really mattered. I'm just reporting what I found, that's all. Kay pursed his lips. There's bathrooms next to the music room, too. But I don't think that's important, either. Excellent contributions. Beelzebub says sarcastically. At least I'm trying to help. Kay fired back, his eyes narrowing.
Funny that he mentions the bathrooms next to the music room, but he doesn't think they're important, and then they end up being, like, instrumental, because that's where Blue's hiding space is the girls' bathroom next to the music room. It's fortuitous that, there was the bathroom next to the music room, that purposefully was there, because, two reasons, really. Or I guess, like, the bathroom is next to the music room. You would think solely because of it being a plot point for the murder trial, the third murder, which is correct. But also, it just allows for the character trait that we actually don't see explored in My Heart Bleeds Violet, but we do see it explored in Blue on Blue, is the fact that Blue, because his hiding place is in the bathroom next to the music room, he gets to listen to Kay play his music a lot, and he's very fond of it. He enjoys listening to Kay play his music. And so that's just a fortunate character trait that can happen because of the bathroom being placed there. But again, I don't think it comes up in My Heart Bleeds Violet. I believe it just comes up in Blue on Blue.
Thank you, Kay. Every bit of information is useful information. We all need to know more about our surroundings, so it's good to bring up everything, no matter how unimportant it seems. Karami insisted. If we're bringing up useless factoids, I may as well say there's a rec room. It looks like it's outfitted with a pool table and a dartboard, among other things. If I can just find a deck of cards, we'll really be in business. If I have to spend time with you people, I'd at least like to do it over a round of poker. Kalaos remarked. Poker, HM? I haven't played that in about a century. Whenever I go to play, I always find I'm missing a card or two. Karameshiu mused. I'll gladly play a game or two with you. It seems like a nice way to pass the time. You're way too calm about this whole situation, Karameshiu. Hanaya-san murmured. There's no reason for me to get worked up, though. Karameshiu shook his head. All I have to do is sit back and wait out this whole situation. I have the poorest sense of time, too, so for all I know, we'll be out of here within a day. In case you forgot, all of us are at the risk of being murdered. That's kind of a reason to get worked up. Kay reminded him. Oh, I should clear something up, then. I'm incapable of being killed. Immortal, as they say. So I'm really in no danger in this whole scenario. Karameshiu explained.
You might be wondering, why did the mastermind pick someone immortal? Why would he do that? The answer's quite funny. The mastermind did not know that Karamatu was immortal until hearing this right this moment. Just simply wasn't aware. That's all there is to it. As for like a lore standpoint, or like from a meta standpoint, like why did me and Keitra decide to make him immortal? Why did we make him immortal, actually? Hold on. Why did we do that? I think that was, I actually don't remember if it was mine or Keitra's request that Karamatu be immortal. Let me see if I can find that information real quick. Okay, it looks like it was Keitra's idea. Interesting. Yes, it was definitely Keitra's idea because I messaged them at one point, saying that if I had been the sole planner of this fic, I might not have made Karamatu immortal. Interesting. Okay, that answers that.
That sounds like a pretty unfair advantage. Monroe frowned. What's stopping you from just turning on us and killing everyone? Then, if you can't be killed in return, what would be the point? Besides, I'm much more of a gentleman than that. I have no interest in killing any of you. Karameshiu spoke earnestly. At any rate, my group also inspected the kitchen and found that it was fully stocked. There's actually quite a variety of teas to choose from. Is that really what's important to you at a time like this? Kay sighed. Again, this is not a pressing situation for me. Karameshiu reiterated. You say you're immortal, but I don't buy it. I bet I can find a way to pick you off. Beelzebub smirked. Not if I kill him first. Mr. Shocking interjected. If I may take the floor, I'd like to present my findings. Captain stepped forward. Go ahead. Karami prompted him to speak. There is a pool and locker rooms available for use. I took note of plenty of flotation devices by the side of the pool, so please take care to use those if you are not a strong swimmer. Captain announced. Furthermore, the first floor also possesses a rather large dining room next to the kitchen. I suggest that we convene there at mealtimes so that we may eat as a group. I'll eat when I damn well please. Mr. Shocking huffed. That's actually a good idea, Captain. We should at least eat breakfast together so we can keep track of where everyone is in the morning. Kurami agreed. Starting in the morning, I'll come around and get everyone together for breakfast at 8 o'clock, okay?
What? This... I just think... Obviously, Karami is like, we'll get up at 8 o'clock. She's just naturally an early riser, so she's up then. But like, come on, you can let him sleep in. We're in a life-threatening situation here. At least let him sleep in a little bit. Like 8 o'clock, really? Come on, we don't have to go to work. We're in a killing game. I don't know. I just think that's funny.
Don't you fucking dare. Kalaos warned. Try and stop me. Kurami fired back. I'm going to keep the group together whether you want me to or not. If I don't try to keep track of everyone, something bad might happen. It's not your responsibility to babysit us. Not only that, but I don't want you breathing down my neck at any given moment. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave me the hell alone. Beelzebub warned. You talk as though I'm supposed to be afraid of you. Kurami stood her ground. You should be. Beelzebub grinned, showing off a row of razor-sharp teeth. Well, I'm not. I'm dragging you to breakfast in the morning whether you want me to or not. Kurami had a determined glimmer in her eyes. Anyway, Captain, was there more you'd like to report? Yes, actually. While I was exploring with my compatriots, I kept finding traces of white fur all around. Do you think it's some sort of clue about the perpetrator? Captain pulled a tuft of fur out of his outfit and showed it to Kurami. Mononiko does have some white fur. Hanaya-san noted. It was pretty short, though. Is this really his fur? Captain inspected the tuft further. I actually don't think it came from Mononiko. Kurami told him. Well, it certainly wasn't from my shawl. It's too high quality to shed. It's not made of those tacky, synthetic fibers that get everywhere. Min rotated a twirl to show off the garment, showing that it didn't shed any pieces when she moved. No, it didn't come from you, either. Kurami shook her head. Then where did it come from? Captain demanded to know. Sorry. Teru Kara spoke up, still hiding behind Kurami. I think that's from me.
So this is another, as you all know, bit of foreshadowing. The fur gets brought up now. I tried to bring up certain things in advance, just so, I mean, like, duh, that's just what foreshadowing is that you try to allude to certain things in advance so they don't feel like completely out of left field when they do later come up. And this is one of those things that gets addressed. There's actually a couple instances where, like, things about Teru Kara's fur gets addressed and his shedding gets addressed, which end up being evidence later on, or like information that helps lead to determining that Teru Kara is the first killer. Which goes back to I said in the first chapter that, like, I wish I emphasized more that Beelzebub like phases through things. I wish I had foreshadowed that more as being a significant thing that he does. Because I think otherwise my foreshadowing is pretty good. Because I foreshadow Mafia being tired, sleep deprived. I foreshadow. God, I just thought of it. It slipped my mind. Oh, Kalaos being uncomfortable around supernatural creatures because he is one and doesn't want to get sniffed out. Just stuff like that. I like foreshadowing. I think foreshadowing is fun because it makes rereading something feel new and fresh because you're seeing it in a new perspective when you have the knowledge of like what that foreshadowing means. So it's fun to go back and see and just like point out and be like, ah, yes, I put that there. Very fun.
Ah, is that so? Captain held up the tuft of fur and saw that it perfectly matched the shade of white that was Teru Kara's fur. Well, that solves that mystery. I'm really sorry, my fur just kind of gets everywhere. Teru Kara lowered his head in shame. I'll try to be more careful. While Teru Kara spoke, he saw people looking at him. This made him nervous, but he was especially nervous when he saw Kalaos giving him an intense stare. He couldn't tell what Kalaos was thinking, and immediately jumped to the worst possible conclusion. He worried that Kalaos thought he was weak and was going to try and kill him. Teru Kara started to tremble profusely, horrified at the thought of someone coming after him so quickly. Someone take the batteries out of that shrimp, he's stuck on vibrate. Mr. Shocking scoffed, gesturing toward Teru Kara.
As we know now, Kalaos is staring at Teru Kara. This is, again, more foreshadowing. Because he's thinking about the shedding thing and suggesting a lint roller, which he does in either the next chapter or comes up briefly because it's before the first murder. Yeah. I guess I don't need to point out like every bit of foreshadowing because it's like pretty obvious upon a reread, but I like to point it out. I'm having fun.
Back off, he's just scared. Kurami stood up for Teru Kara, knowing that he wouldn't be able to fend for himself. He should be scared. He's going to be the first one to go. I'm surprised he even survived the exploration. Mr. Shocking gave a twisted laugh. He probably wouldn't have made it without clinging to you the entire time. Do you really have to be like this? Karami sighed. I'll be however I want. Mr. Shocking shot back. Hey, is it okay if I say something? Carla piped up. He was standing off to the side, not wanting to get too close to people. Sure, go ahead, Carla. Karami prompted him to speak. I noticed that there's a library on the second floor. Do you think there might be some information in there about where we are, or maybe the mastermind? Carla asked hopefully. It's worth checking, I'd wager. Blue mused. Though it will take a great deal of time to sift through an entire library of information, don't you think so? Yeah, I figured. I wasn't sure if it was even worth mentioning, really. Carla scratched the back of his head and shifted his gaze to the floor. No, it's good that you brought it up. We should at least try to go through some of the books and see what we can find. Karami didn't want Carla to think that his contribution wasn't valuable. I don't mind working on that in some of my downtime. It seems like we're going to have all the time in the world, after all. I would be honored to take it upon myself to spearhead that project. I, too, poked into the library, and I found that there is a treasure trove of legal documents. They chronicle all sorts of famous cases ranging from the dawn of time until present day. I didn't have the opportunity to get into them due to the overarching goal of exploring the premises, but I will be delving into the depths of knowledge as soon as I have the time to do so. Haratsuka-san declared. If anyone would care to join me, I can take them on a journey through history and shed light on any number of mysteries still unknown to mankind. Perhaps we will even find the heart-throbbing conclusion to the mystery of why we're here. I don't think anyone wants to join you. Blue shook his head. Best of luck to you in your endeavors, though. What better things do you have to do, petty thief? Haratsuka-san crossed his arms. Don't think I'm not privy to your conniving ways. In fact, I will be watching you with all of the diligence of a mother hawk protecting her hatchlings. I will be espying your every move, ensuring that you do not cause an undue burden upon the group. Should I catch you engaging in any criminal behavior, I will not hesitate to bring you to justice. Mononoko said that we will be partaking in trials, and thus I am led to believe there is a courtroom on the premises. And if there is a courtroom, then I will drag you to it by your cravat and take you down in a battle of wits. You would have to catch me first, which you will most certainly not be able to manage. I have never been caught in my escapades, not even once. I have never even failed a mission. You see, I'm the greatest phantom thief who has ever lived, and a paltry lawyer wouldn't be nearly enough to best me. Blue insisted, a smug smile on his face. Hey, thief. Mr. Shocking spoke up, looking at Blue. I bet you can't steal shit from me. I still want to see you try, though, so I've got a deal for you. Take something from me by the end of the day, or else I'll fucking kill you. Are we clear? You can take anything you want, but you've got to take something or else you'll be dead in a ditch before sunrise. Oh, is that a challenge? Are you implying that I wouldn't be able to accomplish such a simple task? Blue stood up a little straighter, a mischievous glimmer in his eye. Damn right it's a challenge, so step up. Oh, and if I catch you in the act of stealing something from me, I'll kill you twice. When I'm done with you, they won't be able to stop finding the body. Mr. Shocking warned. Don't you mean that they won't be able to find the body? Hanaya-san murmured. I meant what I fucking said. Mr. Shocking insisted.
That is a Jackism that I can't remember where I got that from. Oh, I think I got it from Tumblr. When I'm done with you, they won't be able to stop finding the body. Because, you know, the usual saying is like, when I'm done with you, they won't be able to find the body. But there was a Tumblr post that was like, it's honestly so much more threatening and unnerving to hear they won't be able to stop finding the body. so, so, if I ever need to use a threat, but I want to be kind of goofy about it, I'll often I think I've used this exact line, like, they won't be able to stop finding the body. I had to use that in On My Mind or in some other fic. Um, but yeah, I love that. I love that post. Uh,
I accept your challenge. Prepare to be amazed, Mr. Shocking. I most assuredly will not let you down. On the
what the hell was
contrary,
the
I will
text-to-speech
exceed your
there?
expectations and prove to you that I am a man of unparalleled class and skill. Blue declared proudly.
Did you hear that? That was like, Mr. Shocking! Like, what the fuck was that?
You guys, we're kind of getting off topic. Karami tried to rein things back in. What else did you guys find? We've gathered a lot of good information so far, but there's got to be more. We did find a chemistry lab on the 4th floor. Me and the boys came across it in our search. Monroe told Karami. It seemed to be an ordinary chemistry lab, except for one thing.
There it is again. Should be the boys and I came across it in our search. And you know what? That one does bother me. I think the first one was Karami talking, and you know I could see her not really minding her grammar as much. But Monroe should have gotten that right. That should have been the boys and I. That's on me. For shame.
What was strange about it? I poked my head in there, but I didn't take a close look. Karami admitted. The cabinets in the back of the room were filled with all sorts of strange bottles. Many of the ones that were labeled listed them as being poisons and other toxic substances. We should keep an eye on the contents of that cabinet. If anything goes missing from it, we could be in grave danger, Monroe explained. That would be pretty bad. Okay, how about you and I take an inventory of everything in the cabinet later on? Then, I can check the cabinet regularly to make sure nothing has gone missing. Karami thought up a solution. Oh, I wasn't volunteering myself for the task. Monroe frowned slightly. Oh, well, I'll do it with you. We can make a girl's day of it. I look forward to it. Karami seemed pleased with this turn of events. Hey, nobody else has mentioned it yet, so I will. Mafia cleared his throat and spoke up. There's some doors that were locked for all of you, right? I didn't check every single door in the building, but I did notice that I couldn't open the biolab, the headmaster's office, and the computer lab. Is that true for all of you? Yes, I encountered that issue as well. Karameshi nodded. As did the other members of my group. Haratsuka-san and Captain also proved unable to open those doors. I thought so. Mafia murmured. All right, so there's probably important shit being kept there. They wouldn't be locked otherwise. Yeah, that would make sense. Yes. Karameshi agreed. Beelzebub, would you not be able to phase through those doors and investigate the contents of those rooms?
In rapid succession there, we saw the difference, the yes and the yeah. Because Mafia says yeah, Karmati says yes, like back to back. Mafia says they wouldn't be locked otherwise, yeah. Very next line. That would make sense, yes, Karmati agreed. So there you see that dichotomy of the yeah versus the yes characters.
I could, but why would I? Beelzebub shrugged. Really? This again? Mafia rolled his eyes. We might get out of here faster if you cooperate for 5 seconds. I think he's just scared. Mr. Shocking sneered. Remember? Mononiko warned us that we'd be executed if we went past any locked doors. Beelzebub isn't willing to find out if that's true. Wouldn't he have gotten into trouble for going outside, then? Kay pointed out. I believe that he did. Haratsuka-san decided. Based on the expression on Beelzebub's face, I see a look of pure, unadulterated guilt. I assert that he deliberately broke the rules, feeling above them due to his status as a demon prince. It is at that point that he went outside, discovered something that he should not have, then came back inside and was scolded by Mononiko. In fact, I feel certain that this is the case. Over 100% certain. 101% certain, even. That would mean that however Mononiko threatened Beelzebub, it was enough to scare him into not going to any other places that he's not supposed to go. Mr. Shocking grinned. So, is the crazy lawyer right? Did you get in trouble for breaking the rules, and now you're too damn scared to do it again? I've had enough out of all of you. For me to be scared of a mortal is absurd at best. I wouldn't dare be deterred by a simple plush toy scolding me, and I think it's laughable that you would think as much. Beelzebub's eyes narrowed. Prove it, then. Go past one of the locked doors for us. Blue demanded. I will do no such thing. I don't want to help any of you. Beelzebub denied his request. Then we'll have no choice but to believe that Haratsuka-san was correct, and that Mononiko scared you into not breaking the rules again. Klaus remarked. Think what you want, I'm not afraid of anything in this building or in any other place in the known universe. If I had any interest in helping a group of mortals, I would help you. But frankly, I don't give a damn. You're all on your own. I have better things to do. Beelzebub didn't want to hear the others call him a coward any longer. He floated toward the door, deciding that he was done being in their presence for the time being. Before he could leave, though, Al called out to him. Tell me something, Beelzebub. When you went outside, what is it that you saw? Al asked in a calm, even tone. Beelzebub scowled for a moment before it gave way to a haughty smirk. Nothing. Beelzebub then turned away and phased through the door of the gym, leaving the room. I thought as much. Al murmured.
That is the best foreshadowing in the whole fic. It's my favorite. The nothing. On a first read through, why would you think anything of that? You wouldn't. You would think he's just being difficult. But that is, in my opinion, the best foreshadowing in the whole fic. Unfortunate that we peaked in chapter 2, but you know, let's stick through it anyways.
Figures. He still wouldn't tell us anything. Kay sighed. It's fine, he can be as difficult as he wants. We can manage just fine without him. A demon was never our ally to begin with. If anything, we're better off without his interference. Captain decided. All right, last call. Is there anything else we should be aware of? Karami looked around, waiting for anyone else to speak up. Nobody's mentioned the art room yet, have they? I don't think it's important, though. Carla murmured. An art room? Hanaya-san's eyes widened when he heard this. A pang of sorrow showed on his face for a moment before he tried to rein it in. MHM. With canvases and easels and supplies and stuff. Again, I don't think it has any significance, but it's on the 3rd floor regardless. Carla informed the group. Noted. I think I recall passing by that room as well. It was close to the time for us to all meet up, though, so I didn't take a look inside. Kurami recalled. Have we covered everything? Did anyone take a look at the dorms? My group did, actually. Gallows answered her. Mafia, Blue, and I all looked at our rooms, since that's what we could open. They all appear to be rather pedestrian rooms, not at all the luxury that I'm used to being accommodated with. It's laughable how small they are, really. At the very least, each room has its own bathroom. That's something, I suppose. Oh, and each room seems to contain a few of our possessions. There doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason to what the rooms contain other than that there are things that belong to us. Keep an eye on Blue, because I already saw him eyeing my things. I would never. Blue grinned. You constantly openly admit to how much you steal shit. Mafia pointed out. Okay, maybe I would. Blue conceded. If you touch anything in my collection, you won't survive the night. Kalaus warned in a cold tone. Is that a challenge? Blue's eyes lit up. No, it is not. Kalaus shook his head firmly. It sounds like a challenge. Blue began scheming immediately. Again, it is not. If you dare steal from me, I'm uninviting you from poker night. Kalaus scowled. Is that supposed to be more or less of a threat than you saying you'll kill him? Kay furrowed his brow.
It's funny because Blue doesn't join them for poker night. So I don't know if Klaus actually uninvited him formally. Because the usual poker group is Matthew, Horitsuka, Mafia, Beelzebub, and Klaus. So Blue's not a part of that. So I think it'd be funny if like Blue was formally uninvited after he stole from Klaus. Just like, you cannot sit with us. You cannot play poker with us. I will not allow it.
That depends on where his values lie. Kalaus shrugged. Well, as much as I'd love to be allowed at the poker table, I simply cannot resist my thieving ways. Blue sighed dramatically. Everyone in this building has really fucked up priorities. Mafia muttered. Is this meeting finished with? I believe I've heard enough. Al had long since grown bored with the discussion. It sounds like everyone has said what they needed to say, so I guess we're done here. Kurami decided.
That's a Jackism, long since. I use that, I use the phrase long since very often. I can't stop using it. I won't stop using it. I just like the phrase. Has a very nice sound to it. So that's a Jackism. You probably noticed that a lot in my writing.
So, what now? Teru Kara asked timidly. Now, I'm going to pick you up and dunk you through the basketball hoop just to see what happens. Mr. Shocking snickered. Please don't. Teru Kara whined. Don't worry, I won't let him. Kurami promised. Try and stop me. Mr. Shocking started to step toward Kurami and Teru Kara. Instinctively, Kurami summoned her shield. Before Mr. Shocking could instigate things further, a bell chimed and an obnoxiously familiar voice could be heard over the intercom. Attention, everyone. The time is now 10 o'clock at night. The morning announcement will go off at 7 in the morning. Until then, I advise that you get some rest. Wander the building at your own risk. All right, everyone. I'll come wake you all up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Kurami told the group. Allow me to accompany you, Kurami. I feel as though we shouldn't wander off on our own if we can help it. Even capable heroes like you and me should take the proper precautions, don't you think so? Captain offered his assistance, not wanting Kurami to shoulder the responsibility of caring for the group on her lonesome. I'd like that, actually. Kurami smiled. Let's meet up when the morning announcement goes off at 7, then we'll wake everyone up at 8. How does that sound? I'm looking forward to it. This will be the start of our communal life together. Captain looked at the rest of the group. I hope we'll all get along swimmingly. If you ever need help for any reason, call my name and I'll be there faster than a bolt of lightning tearing through the sky. I am at your service, here to ensure that nobody's safety is compromised for even a second. Good luck with that. The second I'm sick of you, you'll be picked off before you even know what hits you. Mr. Shocking informed him. You're not already sick of him? Mafia muttered under his breath. Really, though. Let's all try and get along. Don't wander off on your own, and keep each other accountable. I'll say it as many times as I can, nobody has to die, okay? Kurami looked out at the group. She wanted to feel certain that nobody would crack, but there was a doubt in the back of her mind that she would never admit to. Kurami, can you take me to my room? Teru Kara asked. I'm sorry to ask so much of you, I just don't think I should go alone. Of course I'll take you. Don't worry, okay? Kurami smiled kindly. Can I pat your head? Yes, that's okay. Teru Kara nodded. Everything will be alright, okay Teru Kara? Kurami gently patted Teru Kara's head. You promise? Teru Kara stared up at Kurami with wide eyes. I promise. Kurami gave her word. Don't make promises you can't keep. Kalaus warned. At any rate, I'll be retiring to my room. I've had enough of the day. I'm done here. You should go with someone. Kurami called out to him, but Klaus was already halfway out the door. It might be a little hard to keep tabs on 14 people, especially when a lot of them aren't very cooperative. Hanaya-san sighed. Can someone walk to the dorms with me? I want to check out the garden, but I think it can wait until morning. Come with me and Teru Kara. Kurami offered. Is anyone else going to the dorms right now? I may as well. I don't know where else I'd go. Kei followed Kurami. I'll come with. I'm not feeling up to exploring this building at night. Monroe joined the group. Wait for me, please. Carla hurried to catch up before they left the room. Hey, thief. Don't forget your job. Mr. Shocking reminded Blue. You've got until midnight, which is in 2 hours. Get to it. 2 hours? I'll need 20 minutes at most. Blue smirked. Good luck with that. I'll start thinking about how I'm gonna kill you when you fail. Mr. Shocking broke into an amused laugh, then left the gym. If Blue doesn't show up to breakfast tomorrow, you'll all know why. Does he not remember the part where we have to not get caught murdering someone? Karameshi raised a brow. If he announces he's going to kill someone and then they die, I think that makes it relatively likely that he'll get caught. And if that happens, he'll be the one to die. I'm under the impression that Mr. Shocking does not act with logic or reason. He is a wild mind, never quite tamed. Truly a guilty soul that we will need to monitor with the utmost care. He is yet another opponent I would love to tackle in the courtroom. I will show him that I am not one to be trifled with. I will strike fear into his heart and make him see that he cannot oppose the ultimate good that is myself. I wish to see him flounder and flail as he tries to make his depravity come out on top, only to be trounced by my unwavering and steadfast sense of justice. Haratsuka-san started to get on another rant. While he spoke, Mafia and Captain both left the room. This left only Karameshi to listen to him ramble. You said you're a defense attorney, though. How would you prosecute Mr. Shocking if you're meant to defend? Karameshi asked curiously.
Is this the very first time that Karamatu talks specifically to Horitsuka-san? I mean, not actually. It definitely wouldn't actually be because, like, they were just in a group together exploring the building. No, he had to acknowledge them at the end of the last chapter, I would think, when they're forming their groups. So no, this probably isn't the first thing. Still. Just my Horitu brain rot. I know they're not a couple in this fic, but the Horitu brain rot is so real that every time they interact, I'm like,
It is true that I am the pure and tender defense attorney to trump all defense attorneys, but being flexible is one of the key aspects to winning any case. If I must prosecute, then allow me to prosecute. If there is nobody to defend, then I will find someone to defend. If there is nobody to prosecute nor defend, I will not simply rest on my laurels. I will look deep within myself and find the courage to prosecute the darkness in my own heart. Haratsuka-san spoke with a level of insane passion that was utterly fascinating to Karameshi.
Horitsuka-san is really something else. He's more of a person in House of Blue, or like he's more of a fleshed out person. So he seems a little more normal, just like he seems just like a guy. But in My Heart Bleeds Violet, where everyone's kind of a bit of a caricature, just because we didn't have the focus wasn't getting to know the characters like daily lives or anything. So they're all kind of like a bit of a caricature of their given traits. But Horitsuka-san's just very fun. I watched the drama CD or listened to it several times in preparation for this, which is funny because I really just kind of like made up personalities for most of the cast. But Horitsuka-san is one that is based in the canon of the drama CD that his character comes from. At least in My Heart Bleeds Violet. And writing his dialogue was very fun. It was a little too easy to write his dialogue. That concerns me a bit. Just how easy it is to write his weird, flowery bullshit. But I just love everything he says, which is really funny because there were comments on the early chapters that are like, God, I hate Horitsuka-san. This bitch needs to shut up. Objectively funny.
Remarkable. Say, would you like to join me for tea sometime? Karameshi asked. Join you for tea? Ah, yes. Of course you would want the company of someone such as myself. You seem to be an esteemed sort, are you not? You can seek out a pure heart like a needle in a haystack, and I am the needle that is so earnestly sought after. Surely I have a sharp edge, but if used with purposeful intent, my sharpness can be used to sew a productive thread. That is what you think of me, yes?
Like, come on, man.
Aratsuka-san was flattered by
Come on.
Karameishiu's invitation. Unfortunately, I have other matters to attend to tonight. I wish to begin rifling through the library and inspecting the legal documents I happened upon. Perhaps another night, though. If I find myself becoming parched as I burn the midnight oil, I will seek you out and engage in a rousing bit of discourse with you. What do you say to that, dear vampire? I look forward to it. Karameishiu smiled, then walked toward the door. Enjoy your trip to the library. I'll see you at breakfast. With that, everyone had gone their separate ways for the night. Come morning, Karami would do her best to get everyone together and figure out how to move forward in their new life. She was committed to ensuring that nobody would give in to the looming temptation to kill. She insisted that nobody would need to die, but she was not immune to the knowledge that many of the participants disagreed with her. She was well aware that there were multiple players capable of inflicting damage that she couldn't prevent. Even still, she would smile and look forward. Tomorrow would be a new day, for better or for worse.
Right on. I'm gonna look at the author's notes. Oh, in the author's notes, I do talk about how it's based off of the Danganronpa school. But how there's some things that don't exist in the My Heart Bleeds Violet school, like there's no physics lab or archery range. Oh, and then I complain about what a pain in the ass it is to write conversations with 15 characters all talking. Sorry, I'm reading the author's notes. Fun. I don't know if I have any like general overall notes for this. I guess on to the next chapter. I'll probably do another one of these. This is fun. I said before, but I have not read this in a while. And it's been almost 2 years since I've written it. In under 2 months, it'll be 2 years since I've written this, which is crazy.